round of 16.
It's my turn now.
GSL Season 2, Code S, Renaissance.
All right, let's put these two Protoss players together and make them kill each other. Patience for stats is up next.
Well, I mean,
are we going to have stats the virtuous Protoss or patience the Protoss' Protoss?
you know, this
Go
group,
up against innovation.
this group, first off, it feels like an SSL round of 4, but like one of my favorite games ever was an SSL game, Patience versus Stats, where Patience had Blink, and then Stats out-microed him and killed all his stalkers without Blink.
Yeah,
And it's not like there was a prism. No, it was just like it was funny. I think everyone would agree that Stats, his baseline skills are probably all better than Patience's, but I think that this is pretty close. Like Patience is rabid in PvP. He will proxy like 9 buildings on the map. It does not matter. They'd be everywhere. You're not going to be able to guess what he's doing. I'm excited.
Okay, our game is now loading up. Game 1 will be on Thunderbird. The loser of this match is out of the GSL.
Team LP, Patience. Splice, Stats.
Ooh, from Russia. Welcome. Artosis.
Yes, Tasis.
One of these players has to face off against innovation, the last hope for humanity in the StarCraft universe of GSL Season 2.
Who do you think innovation is more likely to beat?
That's where I was getting at. I think it's Stats.
Yeah, it is.
I think it is.
It is.
I think if it's, I mean, Patience is just too tricky.
Yeah. Patience will just do
I'm
something.
worried Patience
Innovation
was
dies
going to
to.
beat innovation, then take his lunch money is what I'm
Yeah.
worried about is going to happen.
He's got to beat Stats first. So wait a minute. Does Stats have 2 probes out? Oh wait, no. That's the Stats probe. That's the Patience probe. So both of them kind of proxying kind of close to their own bases.
Proxying is very, very common now in PvP, but it gets extra weird when you have both players doing it.
Yeah, it can be pretty wild at times. A lot of damage can be done to each other.
So
but
we
yeah,
have Soccer Sentry build on both sides.
That's interesting. With the hidden pylons.
Yeah.
Stats' hidden pylon might just be a fake out for when when Patience scouts him, which seems to not be something that Patience cares about at the moment because he's not scouting him.
Yeah, one thing is,
Oh my God, is he just gonna hide a base right off the bat?
No. Oh my God, he is the Protoss' Protoss.
That's the ultimate.
What?
That's the ultimate hidden thing that you can do. Is a Nexus in a random spot. Like, the thing is, as Stats, you're walking around, you're looking for a Robo, you're looking for
Now,
Twilight. Oh, there's the Twilight, too. God.
Yeah, he's putting all his eggs in one basket by hiding this all over here. Now, keep in mind that because you can proxy anywhere on the map in this matchup, he might end up finding this base anyways.
Yeah?
The idea is still the same. You're hiding something. In this case, you're hiding something you would never, ever do in the early game. Just straight up make a Nexus like that.
Yeah. It's a tricky place because it's not a good proxy location place, which makes it a great place to hide stuff. What a funny game. Oracle on the way here for Stats. I think, yeah, Patience just going into Blink, and he's going to have a very fast expansion up.
Now, the hallucinated Phoenix can continue to try to come in here and get an idea of what's going on. And just because he doesn't see anything really substantial in the main, he would probably assume that there's hidden tech somewhere else.
Look at Stats. Stats is so afraid. He's playing too carefully, Tasteless. He's sitting at home. He's making a robo. He has the battery. Like, look at what Patience is doing. He's like, nah, I'm fine. It's no problem. If a DT walks in, he's just like, yeah, then we go on to game 2. Whereas Stats is like, I have to win this. I've got to win it.
Yeah, I mean, it exemplifies the personality type so much here. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh. All right, I'm looking at Patience's face right now.
This is part of his plan.
Brief frown there as the hidden nexus was spotted.
The 4 probes killed is really nice.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even like it was much of a fight, to be honest. He just went in there and killed him off.
And now he's going to have a bunch of blank stalkers, so that's not too bad either.
There's a 3rd nexus being made here, Artosis. Patience expanding to his natural. Look at this.
Yeah, well, if the proxy doesn't work, you got to rebuild. Yeah. Proxy is working, though, right? He's making more probes.
I guess so.
A couple stalkers there.
Blink's done.
Now,
what?
Yeah. So, yeah, just recalling some probes for
yeah.
mining. I think you're supposed to go into charge from here in Mass Gates, or am I wrong on that?
No, I think you're right. I think charge Mass Gates is probably the direction he wants to take this.
Because the Oracle's out?
Well, also keep in mind that Stats is going to have stronger robo. Here. He's already getting an immortal now. Yeah. He'll be able to push.
He's definitely winning as far as the tech goes by far. Yeah, there's the charge. Okay, because when you're on 3 bases like this, I think that there isn't another option. You're just going to go for a giant gateway timing. So Stats has to play this just right. We don't see a forge for him yet. That's kind of interesting, though, actually, because this is a map where you kind of get 3 bases almost free. Not exactly free, but almost.
Yeah.
So maybe he can play a longer macro game and just win with giant armies where he has a better composition due to the earlier mortal production.
Yeah, very different techs here. I mean, when you're getting robo tech, that's going to scale better in a longer game. Whereas if you're going to go gateway man tech here, which is just, lots of stalkers, lots of zealots coming out, you could win fights at certain points in time, but yeah, the inevitable is going to happen when the player that has the better tech is up. We had. What do you think about that pull away?
Yeah.
What was the deal with that?
Well, it felt like he thought he was going to get attacked, which of course did not occur.
When you see behavior like that, it's kind of alarming because he didn't get attacked, and so he pulled probes away for no reason. Or
but
maybe he just wanted to transfer to his natural because he thinks, okay, this is eventually going to be hit, but now it's oversaturated in his natural.
He's super saturated. Like, he can recall back to it. When charge finishes, I think he can just have complete map control anyways. So at that point, I think it's time to send probes back. Yeah, see that army? That's not that scary. I don't know how many gateways Patience has, but if he just does nothing but make zealots from here out, like, that army of Stats shouldn't be able to really do anything.
By the way, Patience starting that very late robo. Now we have this push coming out here from Stats. At this base, it basically isn't defended at all. I mean, he's just going to give this up.
Yeah. And Stats going into Glaives. I like a lot of the choices that we're seeing being made here. What is Patience doing, though? He's got to do something.
Well, Patience is going to try a counterattack of his own here. And this is quite a bit of stalkers. I don't think you could just defend this with warpins here. So he's going to do a recall back at home. The problem, though, is that I think you just recall, you drive this away, and then you're going to be setting up for another big damning attack.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is...
Yeah. Especially if you left your Prism out there, this would be extra good, but I think he may have recalled it. So getting a little bit of harassment done. Patience has a very healthy probe count still, for sure. Oh, look at that. Patience actually did get his Temple Archive started before he lost the Twilight, so that's very important as well. Now, this is kind of a funny game, the way that Patience is doing. Like, he has so many Blink Stalkers. Hasn't been focusing on those Zealots.
Yeah, he's going to try to blink back in here. Now, once again...
no recall this time.
Yeah, he's out of position here. Does that mean that we're just going to see Stats commit? Yeah, we are.
Oh my god, we're turning into a base trade real quick, and Patience has recall. And he has a bunch of force fields and a bunch of shield batteries. Oh, I love this setup. Look at this ridiculous setup. Oh, didn't think about that, did you?
Okay, the Adepts are coming through now.
Well, that's not going to be any fun.
Now, it seems like Stats should have the better army here. So these Stalkers are going to get recalled here. And this means that Patience has to win this fight, or he is going to be in real trouble here. Now, some of those Adepts are stuck on the outside of that force field onto the high ground.
Yeah, but he's starting to kill a lot, right?
Oh, wow,
everything
is too.
Well, his Stats has basically lost his main. He has to win right here with this push. He still has a lot of Immortals.
There's really nowhere to blink here anymore. He's, you know, in the very, very corner of his natural. And it seems like Stats is just going to smother him here. He has way too much of everything.
Yeah, it really does seem that way.
Does get that Warp Prism, which means he can actually target down these Immortals, so maybe he's got more of a chance here. He does not. GG, Stats wins game 1.
Interesting plays there by Patience. I really think he had an opportunity there. Like at the end, I think he made great plays considering where he was at. But even the push out from Stats felt a little bit suspect. I think that Patience stayed on Stalker maybe a little bit long. It's, you know, these situations are really hard to call correctly as the player in the game. You don't get to see the whole map like we do, but it felt to me like he had opportunity to switch into Stalker Zealot instead of pure Stalker and have an overwhelming force to keep that third base alive, that proxy base.
We're going to go to New Repugnancy for game 2. Patience with a hidden Nexus in the first game. About as out there as you can get, but Stats stayed stable, teched up, got that Robo tech going, and you know, ultimately came through. But you're seeing Patience is a very dangerous Protoss. Let's see what happens now as we go on, continuing in this series.
Team LP, Patience.
You ever bounce your knee when you play?
I was just about to ask you that.
Stats' camera is
He's
like
a knee
shaking.
bouncer.
Yeah.
Splice, Stats.
I don't know if we're gonna see it on.
I mean, I've done it before. It's kind of like a nervous tick, maybe. He's definitely being a bouncy nerd right now, though.
Yeah, a little bit of a wiggle nerd. So what cheesy thing is Patience going to do in Game 2, Artosis? Keep in mind that with the number of Protosses in this tournament, you really have to be a god at PvP. If you're going to win this tournament, most likely this tournament will be decided by who is the best PvP player in StarCraft 2. And
that seems to be the case.
PvP, by nature, is a matchup that requires a lot of proxies, a lot of lying and deceiving. And that means you also have to be careful about which builds you're going to show as you progress through the tournament. Yeah. Maybe your best PvP needs to be saved for the finals, you know?
Possibly. Well, we have a couple Zergs in there now, and they're not slouches themselves.
No.
But yeah, the bracket is actually becoming very exciting. I was a little bit hesitant, but now I'm starting to look at it, and I'm like, there's actually a universe in which Parting wins this GSL, you know? This is a real possibility.
We see Patience moving his probe over here to the natural expansion. See if there's anything sneaky he's going to try to do over here.
I don't think so. I think he's just hiding in there to sneak in a little bit later. Which I guess is a sneaky thing, technically.
Two Adepts on both sides being made. We do have the Robotech. No real shocker there from Stats, but confirmation that he probably wants to navigate this into a safe spot for him, PvP.
You know, I would be surprised if it doesn't turn into Robo 3 Gate from Stats, which is a nice aggressive build as well, and it is kind of safe overall. The Stargate from Patience.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
That probe was on a diet. Slipped right in.
Shade block right there.
Gets to see that there is the Robotech. Meanwhile, Patience is actually getting a Stargate tech. Okay, let's watch this weird fight.
Oh, Stats wins it.
Really smart play here by Patience.
And he won't see the Robo with that, unfortunately.
Oh, he didn't see the Robo the first time.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
he didn't. Okay, you're right. Wow, good catch.
Okay. So it is going to be Robo 3 gate here. Just a 1 Immortal push. Very, very strong. But yeah, I mean, if he just sits here and makes Phoenixes, you definitely have potential to beat this build.
Yeah.
I would say. I think it's going to come down to execution, really. There are going to be a lot of stalkers, but like if you pick the Prism off real quick,
yeah, then the rush is
they can't really break your ramp anymore as long as you didn't screw up anything too badly and you have a couple shield batteries.
Well, we're seeing Phoenixes get pulled right now, Artosis. We've already got 2 out.
Yeah.
See if we get a 3rd coming up here.
Oh, for sure. And then if you have all those Phoenixes, you have the potential to do some harassment on your opponent.
Yeah, start killing probes off.
They don't have as much for you. Sees no Nexus.
Here comes that push now. Stats is moving out across the map, the Warp Prism. If, again, like Artosis said, if that can be killed, you're going to be able to sandbag the progress of the rush. Gotta be careful. Don't want those stalkers to snipe that Warp Prism either.
Yeah, he sees exactly what's going on. He needs shield batteries up here. Yeah, he has a force field robot.
Snow globe holder.
Yeah. You know what? He actually might have enough use just running here if he picks up the Immortal. Oh, great targeting there, though, by Stats.
Okay, so the Stalkers are targeting down the Phoenix. Meanwhile, the other Stalkers are targeting down the Immortal. Oh, sick!
Okay.
Sniped that right out of the sky. That was so good.
You know what? He traded 2 Phoenixes and a Sentry for a Sentry and an Immortal. I think it was all right. He needs some shield barriers at the top of the ramp, though. Does he have any? What is he doing fighting here? The Prism is going to just wreck him, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised he's staying on low ground, but he seems to have so many Stalkers over here. This arc is pretty sick. And I don't know if Micro's going to be able to save Stats right here.
No, I think you're right about that. He's actually getting punished pretty hard. Great play there by Patience.
Wow, Patience handled that perfectly.
That was a good call to stay down. Like, immediately when I see the Prism, I'm like, oh, they have too much. The Prism is going to destroy, but he had the shield battery. He had more Stalkers. Great job. And now he's sitting here making Phoenixes against someone who's making another Immortal. It feels pretty darn good right now for Patience. Okay, there's 3 Stalkers down here that are damaged for some reason, so that's not good. I don't know what that liftoff was either.
I'm not sure.
It's like, I gotta put maximum damage on that. 3 red Stalkers in that Prism.
Well, Stats better be careful if that gets caught. Now they're both taking a Nexus here. We have the Immortals continuing to be cranked out here by Stats. Is there a follow-up attack that Stats might be able to do here? I mean, the Phoenixes are much less of a factor once you have multiple Immortals here. You know, the Immortal is basically the hard counter to the Stalker. Yeah. When it was being made in the game, it wasn't maybe intended for that purpose, but it wrecks Stalkers.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't made to hard counter armored units, then I think that the team that made it wasn't understanding what they were doing. The damage output is insane.
Crazy. Okay, so the push is going to come in here again. Now, last time the Phoenix picked up the Immortal, and then all these Stalkers below ground targeted it down, so it just wasn't able to do anything. And from there, the higher Stalker count just wins the game. Second time around, we've got 2 Immortals here and a Warp Prism, and I don't see a Phoenix over this right now.
The Stalker count doesn't look that high right now.
Yeah.
Is that really all that he has? You can't keep that Nexus.
Well, don't forget there was that little fight that they had earlier on, and so the Nexus just gets blown up.
Wow. Uh-oh.
So this is a little bit more straightforward than I was expecting it to be, but okay.
Yeah.
Force field's on the ramp. This is a boxed-in area. The Phoenix is not being utilized in this. The Immortal 4 Patience is over on the high ground, not really doing that much to help out here. Zealots are coming down, but the Warp Prism is continuing to be abused as it juggles injured units in and out of it, and I think we're going to see a 2-0 here.
Wow. Just getting super duper wrecked at the moment.
But Stats, his probes aren't mining. This is it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's absolutely no way to hold on against this. Just way too many units from Stats. Just going to walk up this ramp now.
The final match of the night, everybody, is going to be Stats versus Innovation.
Yeah, very good
PvT rematch, actually. Wow, great control. Just the last second, you know, there's nothing else that can fight that Warp Prism anymore.
Oh,
You know, I'm sorry, everybody. You know, when Immortals are in a game,
the game is still stats.
the game gets, yeah, stats should have this, but yeah.
Paint just says
Every time
13 workers.
we've been casting StarCraft forever now, and you know, there's a point in time where you look at a game, and you go, yeah, that's the part where you're going to GG. It's just point of no return. But
then the Immortals eventually
Immortals,
kill everything.
Immortals, especially with a War Prism, you're like, well,
I think
even a maxed out army, it's still a game of chance. Just to win, the actual killing blow will come.
It seems to me that the only option available is to get a War Prism and get the most damage you've ever seen with these 2 Immortals.
That's right.
Which every time 2 Immortals are in a War Prism is what we seem to see. We keep setting new records with damage, but
yeah,
I don't know if that's going to be enough here. Great
okay, now more Warpins coming. GG, there it is. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so Stats does end up advancing. Patience not winning a map tonight.
No.
A dangerous character indeed, but the group of death a bit too much for him this time.
And so now Stats moves on to this final match. Innovation. The only Terran left in the GSL. Either Stats moves on and we have another Protoss in the round of 8, or we have 3 races.
That would be pretty sick. Well, Innovation looked very good against Stats early on.
Yep.
Earlier on today, rather.
All right, break time. When we come back, the last best of 3 in the round of 16. Innovation versus Stats. You do not want to miss this. We'll be right back.